So is everybody pretty familiar with the shroud? At least have seen, heard of it. Of course, we believe it to be the burial cloth of Jesus Christ. Now, the real shroud is in Turin, Italy, so these are just photographic replicas. So behind me here on the right, we have the front of the cloth, that negative image, the darker image versus the positive image. Just to point out a few things, and I'll do it off of the negative image, you can see the image of the face, which there's also another image right here in the center. Believed where he would have been lanced on the cross, the blood mark, which is right here on the positive. See the details in the fingers and in the hands, where the nail marks would have been. You can see some of the scourge marks, the blood marks coming down there. See kind of where the nail would have been on the foot. You can see a little bit better here on the negative. And then on the opposite side here, if I squeeze around y'all, we have, again, the negative and the positive. Believe where the crown of thorns would have been, the blood mark. Then you see all these X's all over his body and down his legs, which we believe would be all the scourge marks all over his body. Then down below where the nails would have been on the foot. And then here in the very center, and sorry I'm walking around everywhere, but believe what the crown of thorns would have looked like, what they would have used. The nails, the sponge when they gave Jesus the gall and vinegar on the cross, and then the scourging whips. Believed to the end of those whips would have been a bone of an animal or some type of claw. Because if we see this little statue here, the Ecce Homo statue, behold the man, a lot of his flesh is torn off. Or if you've seen The Passion of Christ by Mel Gibson, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, what Jesus looks like. Now there's a lot to go into the shroud, but just due to time I'm not going to go into it. I'm just going to point out one thing, because a lot of people wonder. Sorry, I'm pushing you back into the corner. You see these little marks here, they kind of look like cigarette burns, also over here. Lines both sides, because the shroud would have been folded. This is actually damage from a fire. Nuns in a monastery patched it up with cotton patches, trying to salvage the cloth. So those are those spots that you see on the negative and positive.